Hello and welcome to the GHPLS Community Spotlight Podcast. I'm Terry, also known as Mojo in game, and today I have with me James, also known as InDaDark, a member of the GHPLS community. And thank you for joining the podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me today.
Okay. So, James,
Yeah.
can you tell us who is InDaDark?
InDaDark is the official jungler for GHPLS official team GCG. Short abbreviation for Gold Coast Gaming. Yeah.
Okay. And what's InDaDark like in game?
InDaDark is what you want him to be in the game, basically. I play from aggressive junglers to passive junglers to farming junglers to scaling junglers, assassin junglers, tanky junglers. I mean, think of it, and I do.
Okay. And as outside GCG, what's your play style? You know, in your solo
Uh,
queue, in your you know,
I
what what
mean,
what
we
what
all
what's your
know.
preferred role? Are you jungler solely, or you know, tell us more about what you do in League of Legends.
Well, initially when I started League of Legends, I didn't really have a specific role. I was playing like every role from ADC. I actually started from ADC, playing bot side. Then I switched to mid lane because I kind of like playing Yasu, which I found out, yeah, it's actually not a good thing. Then I switched to top. Interestingly, it was Timo that got me interested in top. And then again, I realized that was also a mistake. So I kind of got stuck with Django because Django is actually where the action is. You make the action, you create the action and everything. So yeah, and when GCG was formed, I think I had to take out that role fully. But in my solo queues, I've just played either jungle or ADC.
Okay. Well, seeing as I've followed your in let me put it in loose terms, your career in League
Mm.
for as long as I can remember. I mean, I think you've been in the game for roughly 4 or 5
Um,
years,
I
almost
actually
six.
actually a bit longer because if I can remember, we all started league in like 2014.
Okay,
Yeah, we started league in 2014, so yeah, a bit longer. It's like I
okay.
think we're in the seventh year or so. Yeah.
And I followed your career in the game, and uh, I can say from my personal opinion that you're more or less a jack of all trades. And although you seem to have mastered jungle to a degree, I feel like you're comfortable playing in any lane. Probably the lane I haven't seen you play as often as other roles is probably the supports role. And I think, yeah, for like what I'll call a well-rounded player, because you seem to find success in almost every lane you find yourself. And well, anyone who wants to see how what a well-rounded player is like in the community, I suggest linking up with in the dark, and maybe queuing solo queue with him, and at least try to get a feel of his gameplay. So, like you're saying, you've been in league you've been playing
Uh,
league since 2014.
yeah, 2014. I think we
And
joined late 2014, September, October, there about.
what are some of the things that you find league you found that league has done for you? Has it been all good? Has it been all bad? Tell us your experience with league over the
Uh,
years.
League actually gives you mixed feelings. Sometimes you hate the game so much you want to delete and just put it away, but you just can't. Like you find yourself coming back to the game. It's a love and hate relationship with League of Legends. You get so annoyed sometimes. You just don't know why you are playing a game which is supposed to relax you, but ends up stressing you even more. And then again, without it, you kind of feel like you don't have enough adrenaline in your system, and you end up coming back to the game again. So yeah, because a love and hate relationship. I think mainly because maybe the game is ever so changing. It's not one way. Every year has its own tricks. Every year has its own secrets. You need to learn again.
Oh, well. So aside from league, you have any other hobbies, any other games you like playing? What are some of the things you like to do? Because I'm sure league is not your entire life. What are some of the fun things you like to do?
Well, fortunately, I don't like going out. I like staying indoors, movies, anime, series. I couldn't really play other games much because the laptop I started using to play League could literally just play League, couldn't play any other game again. As now I'm just trying to get into other games like Apex, Genshin. I used to play Warframe, but uh, now it's just a hobby, not really something I play often and all that. So we'll see. Maybe other games can come and take a spot in my heart for League too.
Okay, okay. So how did you get to know about league? What got you into league and
Actually, well, this is actually a very funny story. My brother, I quite remember my brother used to play with you guys. At that time, he didn't have a laptop, so he normally often borrowed mine. You guys to go play. And the first time I actually saw you guys playing the game, I was actually laughing at you guys saying the game looks kind of like, let me, for lack of better words, let me say toyish or something. It doesn't look like the kind of games we used to play. So I wasn't getting why you guys were so interested in the game to begin with. And one day, I think Gideon was the one who sat me that said I should just try the game and see. My first experience was actually very, very bad. I didn't know what I was doing. I was failing at all angles, everything. And I didn't understand why I was failing. And yeah, you guys were so into the game. So later that evening, I tried the game myself. And I ended up played a couple of games, ended up liking the game for some weird reason. And I think that was it. I met some people online who also taught me how to play the game. And I think I was even the first person who started playing with people who entered PvP first. And I think I was the first person among you guys who even played rank first. So yeah, that's actually the most fun part. I was mocking the game, I was laughing the game, and I ended up being more addicted to it than you guys.
so you're late to the party, but eventually you became the
Yeah, I became the drunk of the party.
so I mean all your time in league and the community that has grown around it in Ghana, especially the GHPLS community. Um, how has your interaction been with those you've met? How do you feel about the GHPLS community?
Well, interestingly, it has been very, very exciting, very fun. We're more almost like a family today. We check on each other. It's not just league we only talk about. We talk about other things. We have fun. I think we are just yet to have one big gathering where we all meet and then actually meet everyone in person for the first time. We've met a couple. I met a couple in person, but not all, not everyone. I mean, we had a talk with one of our ladies, so people out there don't think it's just a whole guy thing going on. So yeah, it's actually been fun. It's been fun. Everyone has been warm, welcoming, and everything to the game, and also to everyone else.
Okay. And well, for those in the community, if I can make reference to the previous podcast,
Yeah,
I will- I asked our guest Sandrine, also a very avid player of League of Legends,
sure.
and uh, a girl gamer at that. If you have an opportunity, those who are listening, you can check her out. If you join, you can maybe queue in with her and have a game with her. During that podcast, I asked her who she thought was like the best player in the GHPLS community. and she mentioned Mikey, but we all know hands down like the best player in
Yep.
GHPLS right now is Mikey because he's the highest ranked. But put him aside. Who do you think is the closest? Who do you think is almost at the peak? Or
Well, I would say J. Sinakus J. He goes by the end-game name Sinakus J. I'll say J. I'll
okay,
say J.
what make you
So
say that?
he has in-depth knowledge. He has the right mechanics, and though I know I kind of feel he doesn't really take the game that serious, but if he was to actually completely take it serious, he would surpass my team. He would surpass my team. He's actually good in all roles, though he prefers playing support, which I still don't know why. But yeah. So
Okay,
I think yeah. J
interesting.
would yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned something about being more addicted to the game than those who were in it before you.
Mhm.
And I'd like to home in on that statement, addiction.
Mhm.
Um, do you think league is addictive? And you know, with addiction comes a whole lot of problem. Do you think that gives the game bad image?
Well, I wouldn't say give the game bad image because, like I said, it's a mixed feeling kind of thing. You actually know when to stop playing within the day. You actually know when to get back to playing the game. It's not like it's a game where you are winning throughout and so you can't stop playing it. You can
So
be winning, you can have a loss, and that loss will just spoil your taste for the game that day, and you just say, okay, I'm done for today. You can even be as a game, you actually know when to stop. You actually know when to stop and when to. The addiction part I'm talking about is a game where you wouldn't want to throw away. I mean, yeah, let me put it that way. It's a game where you wouldn't want to throw because I started with Warframe. I used to play Warframe a lot, but I hardly log into Warframe now. I hardly log into Warframe now. But League, I can say I'm going to stop playing this game. I just come back to it.
so in your opinion, you don't think it's addictive in a bad way?
No, no, no. I don't think it's addictive in a bad way. I don't think it's addictive in a bad way at all.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective you have there. So, what do you think? I asked these questions before, but I want from your personal opinion.
Mm.
What do you think has, you know, caused the growth of the league community in Ghana to, you know, see such slow progress? Hasn't that although league is such a popular game on the international scene, it seems in Ghana there's just not that level of awareness and patronage of the game. What in your personal opinion is the cause of this?
Quite a number of factors actually, but I think one is due to the lack of good internet connectivity. So in Ghana per se, because of our internet issues, either it being overpriced or being overpriced and not delivering quality service like they always promise. People tend to skew towards offline games like FIFA, some adventure games and stuff like that. I think it's just recently that most Ghanaians are getting into FPS games, first person shooters like Call of Duty and the rest. But with league internet quality internet really matters because that is going to be the decision maker between you winning against your opponent or you losing against your opponent. And with league, if you actually lose against your opponent, it actually bothers your team a lot. Unlike first person shooters where you die, you respawn, you still have a chance. It doesn't really impact the game that much as it is in league. So the number one factor I'll say is internet, followed by the perspective we have towards these kinds of games, this is the genre of games. We Ghana is not really used to these types of games. We're more used to the whole 3D style kind of games, like I say, FPS, sports games, not really into strategy like games like League. So that is also one thing. And another thing is the perspective we have about gaming, like people have about gaming. People think games are just for kids. Don't see the need why adults should be into gaming, should be playing games in the first place. They don't see it that way. All they think is it's just for kids. They don't even know how much money people make just from playing games. To me, these are some of the contributing factors.
Okay. But in case in cases where there's internet access, right, and a computer.
Mhm.
There's, I mean, I personally know gamers who have access to these things. I would prefer playing, FIFA and other titles that aren't league. And like you said, they're more used to the other game formats. But at the same time, I thought I in my thought process, I'm like growing up, games weren't always in 3D.
Mhm.
You remember when we were playing the 2D platformers and
Yeah.
Age of Empires, which has a similar look to what League of Legends was. And I'm sure a lot of gamers from our generation, played games like that. I mean, looking back at um, the uh, Super Nintendo games, and a lot of them weren't really high graphics, high end. Yeah, and they had similar game looks to League of Legends. But why do you think, you know, everyone, especially in Ghana, gravitates towards the FIFAs and the fighters rather than League? Do you think it's because of the learning curve? I mean, in case there is access to internet and the computer, why do you think someone would prefer to play um, probably FIFA online rather than League of Legends?
Okay.
I asked.
So I would say it's kind of like trying a new product. When you've gotten so used to one particular product, changing the product to a different one becomes a bit challenging. And most people don't like taking that kind of risk, that kind of leap, that kind of jump or change. For example, though we were playing on 2D, 3D platforms, there was still sports games back then. People were still playing sports games a lot. And those games kind of got more attention as time went on. League, I mean, for example, soccer is years old, more than league. League, I think, just came into existence in 2008. In 2008, I think, I don't know, I think even later than that. So I think that's also one of the factors that say everyone, like the other games have, let's say, a longer rep than League of Legends. So I believe that in some years to come, yes, League could actually people would actually look towards the game. But as it stands presently, those other games have more nostalgia towards players in Ghana here than that. So if
So
all things being equal, if internet services became cheaper, affordable by everyone, delivered what they promised and everything, people would have enough time to look for other games, to try other games and all that. So yeah, it could be.
because I asked that because I remember I used to take my laptop to the internet cafe,
Mhm.
and I saw a lot of people who did the same, came to have internet access, which wasn't bad because at that time was Vodafone,
Mhm.
like the Vodafone cafe, and the internet is decent
Yeah.
considering. And I met gamers there, but none of them, almost none of them played League. And I don't know, anyone who saw it had the initial thought you had that, it didn't look interesting. So, well, I guess. what you said tracks, maybe because of getting used to sports types games and having that being the popular trend for such a long time, it's difficult for people to, see that as an interesting option for gaming. But personally, have you had any, difficulties, you know, in the game, like playing League?
Let me see if I follow this question. Asking whilst I'm playing the game or getting access to playing the game.
Yeah, like getting access to play the game, like in general. Has it,
Well,
since you got into League, has it been, you know, okay? Has it been easier for you to access the game, or you've had issues,
well,
for instance?
before GHPLS,
Mhm.
basically internet was the issue.
Okay.
But since GHPLS is still, yes, internet is the issue sometimes because of the quality of internet. But it's been easier to access than before. At least I now play on a better machine than what I was using, the wood system I was using back then. So
Okay.
yeah, it has been better. It has been better. Though still a little issues here and there, but then it's been better.
Okay. So, have you had any problems playing from Ghana specifically?
Yes, from Ghana specifically is just the ping issue. The fact that we have to connect to an EU server, we don't have an African server. So the ping difference, yes. And again, it comes down to the quality of internet we have, where sometimes it's just too bad. It's just too bad. You can't play. And with this recent power outages, random power outages also contribute to this too.
Okay. Okay. So, going back to GHPLS, what got you, how did you find about the community? What got you to join, and how has it? Okay, you have mentioned how you felt about the
Mhm.
community, but what got you into the community in the first place? How did you find out about the community?
Well, honestly, I'd always been interested in finding new players who played League in Ghana.
Okay.
And I think coincidentally, that day you had a meeting with Kamara. That was my first time meeting Kamara anyway. We went to the mall. You guys went to have a meeting and stuff. And later when I came, I was holding on everything. And I said, okay, fine, I'll join. I don't have a problem with me getting the chance to meet new players who also play. Because honestly, back then, I thought we were the only ones who played the game. I thought we were just the only ones who played the game. Just a handful of us. We're like five or so who only played the game. So yeah.
Okay. And aside from those in the community, do you know of any other people in Africa uh, that are in League that you know personally from the game?
And aside those in the community in Africa, I would say no. But outside Africa, yes, I know quite a number of people. I've gotten to meet quite a number of people who are not in Ghana, Australia, Denmark, and all those things.
So, as you know, one of the main goals of GHPLS is to bring esports into the foreground because it's basically non-existent in the country at the moment. What do you think are the prospects that esports brings to the table, like to the society in Ghana here? What some of the things you believe esports will bring that can be
Well,
beneficial to the society?
when you grow up in a country like Ghana, in Africa, coming down to Ghana like this, everything basically you enter into is supposed to give you um, money. Basically, that's it. And esports, I think, is something we're actually looking down on that can be a potential source of income. That can really, really give you income for what you do, for what you like doing. And Ghana, in specifically, we are looking down on it because, like I said previously, we think gaming is for kids. It's for kids and don't see the reason why. Popular examples are, for example, now TikTokers are getting paid for literally just taking videos of themselves doing silly stuff. YouTubers are also getting paid for uploading videos. So why can't gaming also earn that same income? And that is what GHPLS is trying to achieve here, making people aware that gaming is not just something for fun. It can also be a career. It can also be a source of income. Something you can actually say, okay, I am stopping my 8 to 5 job, 6 to 5 job, whatever job, and just getting into this, and I'm going to make as much or even more than what I make from my regular job.
So, you think esports or professional gaming can be
Yeah,
profitable in Ghana?
yeah, you can.
Okay. Because I believe, people in Ghana especially underestimate gaming, uh, how much gaming is worth. Because if I'm not mistaken, last I checked, I think the gaming industry is worth way more than what even the movie industry
Yes,
is.
yes, actually, because more the gaming industry has even more viewers than the Olympics. It
And
has
I,
more
I
viewers than the Olympics.
and I think the underestimation of what people earn or the professional gamers earn per year is like they just can't picture it because I know of professional gamers. I mean gamers like Faker, who's esports legend, especially when it comes to the League of Legends community.
Mhm.
I mean he's earning big money,
Yeah, millions. He's earning in the millions just
and
from doing what he likes.
that just let's not talk about him playing. Just talk about. I'm sure he's getting to endorse, products and things that they are paying him to do those endorsements because of the name he brings, like the branding he brings to.
Yeah, for example, the current MSI tournament going on is being sponsored by none other than Mercedes-Benz, a car company sponsoring a gaming event. We have there's you have MSI. The name says itself, MSI, a computer company sponsoring this. We have other big names in the industry that actually put out teams to participate in this event. One is this football team, PSG. Schalke, they all have teams that also compete in this esports games. You have Samsung. Samsung has a team which has at one point won the tournament before. You have a big telecommunication company in Asia, which also has their own team in this. So yes, we are downplaying it, but I mean abroad they've moved past this, and it's actually been one of the biggest income for some of them. In
So
countries where the population is so much that the job availability isn't equal to the population. And they found out that yeah, they can make money from this and it's working. In a
so let
country
me
like Ghana, where we are also struggling with availability of jobs, I kind of feel we can also turn to this and also abuse it.
ask you something.
Yeah.
In a country like ours that has a certain perception, a
Hmm.
certain stereotype that has been attached to gaming in general.
Yeah.
What do you think it would take for, you know, people to buy into the esports fantasy or the esports dream
Hmm.
that so many other countries have been able to buy into and made profit and have been successful with it? What is it going to take for it to be a reality here in Ghana? What
Uh,
step do you think GHPLS can take to make this dream of making esports an established system that works and is profitable here in Ghana?
Well, firstly, is to change the mindset and the perception about this whole thing. Secondly, is attaining more wins. GHPLS being able to bring trophies, being able to win in tournaments that are going on, people don't know about, would eventually at one point uh, put us in news because thankfully Ghana has a lot of media platforms, a lot of radio stations, a lot of television stations that are looking for news, trying to grab onto news scoops that their other competitors don't have. And I feel like this one can help. And probably there might be closet players, players who are actually good at the game, but because they don't hear about it, they kind of feel like it's a fruitless venture or something. More wins can help such players come out, reach out, and say, "Yes, I want to be part of this growing thing."
Okay. And here's one thing that I also want your personal opinion on.
Mhm.
You know, with a game like League, for as you mentioned, we need more wins to get our name out there. As GHPLS has a team that they are supporting and they are trying to get into more tournaments to, gain recognition and, you know, make Ghana popular on the league scene. And we need more wins. But we all know that it takes practice and it takes time to, get good enough to play on such a competitive stage. And if we are being honest, a lot of people in the community have other obligations, other responsibilities like their jobs, their families, and
Literally,
you know,
everyone in the
other
community
yeah,
has
other things going on in their life. So what we can hope to nurture new talent and get them to the highest standards of uh, professional play is to get younger, um, more fresh blood into the community and train them up and get them to sink more hours into practice and getting better so that they can play at that peak level of performance. And that can only be done with getting more people who are up and coming, who don't have that much responsibility, that have time to sink into the game. And with what I'm saying, I'm talking about people in maybe high school, maybe middle school level, where they have is school and their studies, and then maybe in their free time, ample free time, they can sink more hours into the game. But here's the case: parents always, want their kids to have an education and become not a gamer in future. What do you think could be done? What are ways to you know change that perception? Like you mentioned, we need to change the perception. But what are some ways we can do to change that perception so that when a parent sees their child sinking time into solo queue, they are not they don't automatically assume that the kid is going to be a waste in future, that the kid can actually make a career out of those hours he's sinking into the game. What are ways we can change that perception, let people know that no, gaming is a worthwhile career one can pursue in the future and not just a waste of time.
Okay, so this is a truckload of questions you just put out in these sentences. Well, first of all, GHPLS is actually doing a lot to support the community. As I mentioned, GHPLS has a team, GCG, made up
uh,
of some of the
no,
players
it's
from.
one core question. It's one core
Oh, okay,
question actually.
okay, okay,
It's
sure.
like you mentioned that
Mhm.
uh, we need to change the perception.
Okay.
So, what are some of the ways we can change the perception?
Well,
You
like
get it?
I
What?
said,
What? Mhm,
the wins are one, and with anything worth pursuing, sacrifices need
mhm,
to be made.
mhm,
Um, you have to want to make it work, regardless of whether you have your real life responsibilities and all those things. You have to want it. We have musicians nowadays who didn't start as doing music full time. They will also had other responsibilities. Some were working, and at the same time, the least free time they get, the little money they get, they invested it into their music, and eventually that became the main source of me. And their parents back then, I'm very sure, were not supportive about their music career. But now their parents are boasting of them. Then my kid is this, my kid is that. That is how it is, unfortunately, here. And it's not just in Africa. There are other countries the same thing, where parents try to mold their kids in the path they want them to take, instead of allowing their kids to explore their horizon and find other new ways to change the world or to make it in the world. So it's just about sacrifice. You just need to be committed to what you want to do. Know what you want to. I mean, no one else can see how to fulfill your dream is except you, the dreamer. Any other person else will just see it as some story, some fantasy, but it's only you. I mean, all the greatest minds in the world have been called being crazy at one point, till they made what they people assume to be crazy a reality. So you have to want it. You have to just sacrifice for it. I mean, my real life, I work like long hours. I still get home, try as much as possible to sink some hours into the game just to get better, because most games nowadays, the more I think it's everything. The more you practice, the better you become. GHPLS has helped a lot, incentivizing players for good performances, to the extent of even getting coaches for some of the players in the community just to get better. So, I mean, they can only do that much. They can't, no one needs, you can't be forced to do anything you want to do. You have to want it. You have to know what you want to sacrifice for it.
So on average, how many hours do you sink into the game
Um,
personally?
yeah, since I don't go out, um,
Let's
a
say
lot,
per
a
week.
lot, a lot actually, a lot. Let's see, weekdays when I'm working, at least 3 hours when I get home, when I get back from work, 3 hours before I go to bed, rinse and repeat. On weekends, when I'm home, I don't do anything after my chores and everything. I can literally just play the game the whole day.
Okay. So let's get back to you and the game, your personal experiences with the game.
Mm.
Um, Favorite champion.
Wow, that's a really tough question. I've been asked this countless times, but I really don't have a favorite champion. I'm just good with a lot of champions. I don't have a favorite. And because the game is ever so changing, a champion you might be good with might be the least champion the next time, because of how changing the game is. So this champion might be on top today, tomorrow the champion will just be at the bottom, and the least expected champion is on top. So you just have to adapt and know how a little about each champion, how to play a little like about each champion and all that. So I really don't have a favorite champion. I might play a couple of games with a particular champion. I might like that champion so much, I'll just start playing that champion. Another day, I might play with another champion, have a lot of wins with that champion, and say, okay, yeah, I like this champion too. So I don't really have a favorite champion. I play what is suited. That's all.
Okay. In the current meta, which champion do you think is most broken?
And in the current meta, we have the two least champions, which is Morgana and Diana, being very broken at the moment. In the jungle role, that is. Speaking of the role I play, yes.
And
Me, the jungle.
trash tier champion, current
Timo is
meta.
Timo is always trash. Timo Yasu Yone always trash.
Timo, always trash. Okay.
Timo Yasu Yone always trash. Top three
I,
trash.
I, are you sure you're not saying this because of the general, um, re, re, the
Yeah.
general hates the community has for Timo
Yes, exactly.
specifically?
Exactly. Call me biased, but I'll still say it.
Okay.
Call me
um.
biased, I'll still say they are trash.
Okay. So what do you think of, you know, oh, I forgot to ask. I
Mhm.
asked your who you thought was the best champion, the best player in the community, but at large, who do you think the best player,
Are you talking about locally or the whole world?
like in the community at large, league community, not specifically specific to Ghana, like
It's,
not.
it, it, it will always be Faker. It will always be Faker. Maybe probably followed by Dopa, but Faker, yeah.
Okay. I think this this is the answer I'm going to get when I ask most of those in the
Yeah,
community.
yeah.
But what do you think sets him apart? What do you think has made him so so
Um,
synonymous with greatness when it comes to league?
he's just insanely good at the game. He's created new methods, new ways of playing the game. He's brought new ideas, new perspective of the game. He's just done a lot throughout the game, throughout the league community.
And apart from Faker, is there any other professional player, maybe streamer or YouTube uh, league personality that you like to follow,
Well,
take note of their.
well, I actually follow Night Blue 3 a lot since he plays the role I currently play right now. I actually follow him a lot. Um, you actually learn a lot from him. Night Blue, Gripex, and I follow Banifufu too. I mean, for his content anyway. For him, it's just the content. But learning wise, it's Night Blue.
So what do you hope to, what is not currently in the game that you hope to see one day in the game? You know,
Mm.
if you had the opportunity to, maybe if a writer is listening right now, what do you want to see in the game that isn't currently in the game?
Um, let's see. In-game voice chat with randoms.
Why is that?
I mean, sometimes typing doesn't really carry out the emotion you want to carry across. Sometimes you just want people to know exactly what you mean. I'm not talking about when it comes to flaming or what. I'm talking about maybe strategizing. Instead of typing, let's be here, all those things, you can just say it and then yeah, maybe push to talk feature in League in voice chat with randoms.
Okay.
As we see in most games nowadays, most of the games have push to talk features where you just press button, you say what you want the team to do, and then yeah.
Don't you think the current ping system is enough?
No, the ping system are only for basic commands. But for example, let's say if you want us to bait for Baron, bait for Drake, not really take the Drake. Yes, you can ping it, but everyone will have their own interpretation of what you are trying to say. Some people will think, okay, let's start Drake. Some will think, okay, let's wait. Some might think, no, something else, something even far than what you even wanted to carry across. So yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe let's hope it becomes a reality someday for you.
Yeah,
Personally,
and they should delete Yasuo and Timo. Yeah,
interesting.
They should delete Yasuo and Timo from the game.
Okay. So, um, oh, before we go, I'd like to ask one more thing, and
Okay.
that's is there anything that you want to say, to anyone out there who hasn't tried out the game and, if you want to get into the game, like what anything that you have right now that you want to say before
Um,
we sign off?
yeah, I'll just say gaming is here to stay. Gaming is making people money. Gaming has been an alternative source of income for a lot of people. And do not let people's perceptions, people's thoughts saying about the game get you down. Probably you might not be good in sports, as in physical sports. but
Mhm.
your talent might be in esports instead. You would never know until you explore it. You might never know where your calling is, where your talent is. You just need to expand your horizon. Don't be afraid to get into game. Yes, let them call you childish. Let them whatever. When you make it, the same people that were calling you childish will now be shouting your name in praise. Like, oh yeah, I knew him. I used to do this, and now look at him. He's like this and all that. Just and if you're having problem with internet channel, you can always come down to GHPLS's gaming center known as E Prime, where you can come and enjoy gaming here at good internet services. Everything.
So there you have it. For those out there who want to enjoy gaming and want to take it even further as a career, don't let what people's perceptions have, what people's perception like deter you. If you want to make a career out of gaming, you should take that opportunity, any opportunity you have to pursue that dream. And as uh, our guest mentioned, there's an esports lab in Tema Community 5 that GHPLS has established as the E Prime. And if whatever you need, be it PCs, internet access to be able to get into games, we have it. And I want to take this opportunity to let anyone who hasn't tried out League to give it a shot and join the GHPLS community. It's not all about League. There's also Apex and other competitive games that we want to bring to the foreground, and we'll be happy to have you join the community and the League community. So thank you so much for joining us in the podcast today, James.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me today. It's really been a thrill.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you. So that will be all for the podcast today. I hope you enjoyed your time with us. Thank you for joining us and goodbye.
Bye.